Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. You could have been just about any place else, and it's not too late, right? Right. Okay, that being said, let's get on with it. Hmm. Okay, I'll just throw this in there. Kind of a last minute. Yeah, I think so. Just a little last minute thing. Okay. Maybe I'll give you the punchline for now. I've got a sister in law that's mixed race. I'll give you the punchline. Okay. So you'll see it in due time. Okay. Let me see who was here first. Carlene Beckford, thank you so much for being here first. Hello, Mary H. Bunny Rose. Oh, by the way, you guys, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. I just don't think so. Um, hey, Lydia Washington. Um, yes, let's do a membership drive for Royal Sussex. You guys, memberships with Royal Sussex start at just $4.99, and it goes such a long way to help the channel. So, and if you've heard Royal Sussex, you know this channel needs all the help it can get. You've heard it, right? You know this channel needs all the help it can get. So, um, do consider a Royal Sussex membership. Again, it just starts at $4.99 and goes all the way up to $100. Um, okay, there it is. I see the membership, and I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat. So do consider that. Also, someone sent me a Cash App earlier, um, and they said that I should use that. Let me see. I won't say the name, but VM, thank you so much. And they're going to throw a little something on a slice of that Chicago pizza. Thank you so much for that. That's very thoughtful. And MB, thank you. I got something from you at about 11:45 this morning. So thank you both. Thank you very much. All right. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should bring the slides up, huh? Okay. Have you guys ever tried? It's like not real. It's like chopped olives, and it comes in a jar, and they sell it at the dollar store at the night. Well, at the what is it? Family Dollar. Anyway, it's kind of like chopped liver, but it's chopped olives, and it's chopped up real small, right? Like mincing, say, garlic, right? It's minced olives, and you just spread that on a cracker. You put a little cream cheese and the olive, and you spread that on the cracker. Oh my goodness, it tastes so good. And olives, they kind of have a good hearty taste to them. If you ask me, it's almost like you just bit into a piece of meat. I mean, it doesn't taste like meat, but you know how sometimes things have that hearty taste to it, that it kind of gives you the sensation of eating some type of seasoned meat or something like that. That is what it tastes like, and it was really, really good. So, um, that with some cream cheese on a cracker, and my favorite crackers, I think, is the Clubhouse club crackers. I love those. Okay, so anyway, um, very tasty, nice little appetizer or whatever. All right, let me see. Hello, Vaughn, Francia Mosley, Novi D. Love wins movement. You know what? You must have heard me because I was going to ask, has anybody heard from Love Wins Movement? I was literally thinking that before I just saw your name. So I don't know how we have this connection, but that is amazing. I like it. Um, but yeah, I was just going to ask the question. I'm just like, when was the last time I seen Love Wins Movement? And then there you are. Nene, thank you so much for being here. Blue Draws, Jules Ryder. Is that one of those double entendres? I'm still trying to sort that out, but or is my mind just weird like that? Do I always see things that are not there? But if it's not a double entendre, then I think there's something wrong with me. Uh, Brown Girl, thank you so much for 25 months membership, 2 years and 1 month of membership. That is incredible. Thank you so much for that. You know what? Yesterday, did any I don't think the past couple of days anybody's membership has popped up. I wonder why not. Okay. Anyway, slides are ready. Like I said, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Okay. You know, when I say it in that tone, it usually means 3 hours, but I promise you it will not. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to keep it moving. Okay. So, literally just got this 5 minutes ago. That, of course, is Amelia E. Noyes art auction preview for Tuesday, June 4th. Uh, Join the action via Sandra Blunt. 1958. Anyway, all funds raised will go straight to the charity. So this is for the charity from the what is it, Global Sussex, whatever. Um, and anyway, that's where you can um, buy those as your own personal artwork, and the money goes for a good cause. So, of course, it's for people on Twitter. You have to be on Twitter, but if you go to that particular Twitter account um, tomorrow at 4 p.m., I don't. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, June 4th. Or it doesn't say what time. Anyway, I'll try to update that information. But yeah, I remember I shared some of the artwork from the charity before. And that is so nice of Noyes to do that because as an artist, you know, you obviously you have to make a living, but to donate this artwork for a worthy cause and also something that's in the Sussex's name is amazing. So I love it. Thank you so much for that. Elaine Parker, thank you for being here tonight. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex or being here this morning. It's 4:35 a.m. for you, I believe. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Um, okay. Hmm. All right. I'm just looking at a couple of comments. All right. Hello, Ulibi, Adrian Burrow. Okay. And keeping it moving. So, Princess Diana's siblings support Prince Harry at Invictus anniversary event in London. While no other members of the royal family were at the service, Charles Spencer and Lady Jane Fellows were in attendance. But I think that is not completely accurate. And if I'm correct, I believe that there was at least a couple of other Spencers there, besides Harry, of course. So, like for instance, I do believe Louis, Harry's cousin, who's 30 years old and destined to inherit the Althorpe estate, I believe he was there, but there was no front-facing images of him inside of the church, and therefore they did not mention his name in a couple of articles that I looked at today, but I'm sure he was there. Well, anyways, as you can see, it is June the 2nd, and well, whatever magazine, I forgot which magazine it is now, But that magazine decided to run the article about the fact that the Spencers came out to support Harry, whereas his petty Windsor side of the family decided to throw a garden party, which is fine. I mean, um, we know the lengths of their pettiness, so it should be of no surprise to anyone. But in spite of their attempt to embarrass Harry, it was a huge success. The Invictus 10th anniversary ceremony at the St. Paul's Cathedral. So it was like a prelude, like an appetizer, like a hors d'oeuvre for the main course, which of course was the tour of Nigeria. Now that was a smashing success. Hello, Anastasia. Let's see. Jules Ryder says, I read an article about Diana, people trying to say that Diana wouldn't have approved of Meghan. Ugh, how do they know what Diana would have wanted or not? Mind your business. People need to grow up. Yes, I don't know why they have decided to actually, and it was several articles that I've seen recently saying the same thing, but it's very, very dodgy for anyone to try to speak for Diana. Um, I don't even hear Harry doing such things. The only thing that I've ever heard Harry say is that he's more than certain that she would have loved Meghan, and I agree with that. But otherwise, he doesn't go around, you know, speaking of his mother like, you know how they always say Confucius said. He doesn't do that. And of course, he doesn't really have to because the royal reporters, they do it so often. As I shared with you that thing with Jeannie Bond yesterday, they do it so often, he wouldn't have the room to do it. So, but thank you for your comment. Absolutely love Wynn's movement. Would have adored the Duchess of Sussex. Absolutely. Yeah, it is very, 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 very sad to think what could have been, but never will, because Diana's life was cut so short. Um, all we can do is just imagine, and knowing how Princess Diana was, the way Diana was like a superstar on the global stage. Um, if she could have just gotten out of there, you know, she would have had to probably wait until the kids had grown up before she decided to relocate to maybe California, maybe someplace else. But oh, the world would just be so much better if she was here. That's all I can think of, is that the world would be a better place if Diana was still in it. And so right here you have the Earl Spencer, and then that's Lady Jane Fellows, and then the bottom two photos, I believe that that is his cousin Louis, the Viscount Spencer, who will someday inherit the duchy. I'm not the duchy, but the earldom. Is that right, earldom? I believe that is his cousin there. But the article that I grabbed this from, they didn't say who it was. And then there's some gentleman who's seated between the Earl Spencer and what I presume to be Louis. And I don't know who that is, but that's also someone that Harry embraced. So, um, yeah. So I'm not. I can't be sure. I cannot be sure. All right, and continuing, that is Louis Spencer. As you can see, um, that is, of course, the wedding photo on the left. And then in the middle, yes, Nicki Minaj seems to be, well, they say he's a fan of Nicki Minaj. And then there on the right, that is obviously his university graduation of whatever it is. And I was like, is that his girlfriend? Is this a little history repeating? Huh? Is this a little history repeating? I don't know. I don't know who to identify as his girlfriend, but whoever she is, I hope she makes him happy. But can't be for sure or for certain. But that is Louis Spencer. Um, okay. Yes, I do believe that too. Yeah, they were quite triggered by Diana's relationships, weren't they? They were very triggered by that. So you never can imagine what lengths they would have gone through, or gone what lengths they would have gone to try to disrupt any relationship she had. But then it makes you wonder if that situation in Paris was the disruption. Kind of scary to think about, but it's, how could you know? How could you know? It was also bizarre. It was also bizarre. Um, and with that, you know what? Eh, Shame on the French police for not doing more. But then again, they shouldn't sit around a hotel waiting to see what someone's going to do. But still, I don't know. That night will haunt a lot of people. It's kind of like I compare it to me wanting to go back in time and tell John F. Kennedy not to get into the car, or you know what I mean. There's always those situations where you wish you could have been there and maybe or somebody could have warned them, but that's not how things work. So, um, but it's very haunting. Okay, let's continue. And so I'm just going to share a couple of things in case you've never seen it before. Does anybody know what that place is? Does anybody know what that place is? I'll give you a clue. It is located in London. I believe it is near, let me see, what is that close to? Oh, well. But anyway, it's in London. Anyone? I'll give you a second. It has that very beautiful palladium um, exterior, that neoclassical architecture. Clarence House? Nah. No, Clarence House looks a little, like a hodgepodge. It's just like it doesn't have any symmetry. This definitely has a lot of symmetry. Eaton Hall? Nope. Sorry. Royal Lodge? Nope. Nope. Royal Lodge is at Great Windsor Park. This is definitely central London. Mm, okay. Well, if you guys give up, nobody did a screen. Oh, Althorpe? Nope. Buckingham Palace? Nope. Anybody? Art gallery. Slaves were processed there. St. James Palace. Let me see. Let me make sure nobody got it. Okay. Prince Albert Hall, Westminster is okay. I'm going to tell. Oh, who got that? Phoebe. Phoebe. Phoebe says Spencer House. Absolutely. That is Spencer House. So this is part of the Spencer family Althorpe estate. Um, this is Spencer House. And Spencer House, well, I think it was built in 1752, something like that. It is a grade one listed property. And that is part of the Spencer family portfolio that belongs to the Earl Spencer. So Louis is destined to inherit that, as well as Althorpe, which of course is the family home. Um, this is where Diana lived as a child. And of course, here's an aerial view of Althorpe. And if you look in the upper right, in the distance, you can see the little pond or lake pond. Yeah, I guess it's a pond. And there is a little island in the center. And that is the eternal resting place of Princess Diana, not far from the Althorpe house. And yeah, and you can see that um, little monument on the far side of the pond where people leave flowers and such. So, yeah, that is part of the Spencer Althorpe estate. Yeah, so anyway, just wanted to show that to you in case you had never seen it before. But this is their um, country estate, and this is their townhouse. So if you're a fan of Downton Abbey and you've ever heard them say, "Oh, I'm going to stay in London," and then of course the Cora, Lady Grantham, she say, "Do you want him to do you want them to open the house?" And he says, "Oh no, I'll stay at my club." So if the family was in London, likely they would stay at the Grantham House in London, even though it did not exist in real life, but they would have those families would have, like the Earl Grantham, he had a country estate and a townhouse. This is a townhouse. For an American, you think townhouse, you think, like a two-story house, probably attached to other townhouses. But this is the landed gentry version of a townhouse. So just wanted to share that with you. That's how, well, the Spencers are one of the wealthier families in the aristocracy. So they go back, I think, some 700 years or something like that. And so this is their country house. And they had another country house that they moved out of. It was a Tudor style house, and they abandoned that and moved into this one. Um, and don't forget, you Yanks, Americans, that the Washington family actually lived on the Althorpe estate, and part of the coat of arms was the inspiration for the flag of Washington D.C. as well as the American flag with the stars and stripes. So yeah, there's a lot of history connected to that property. And I'm trying to remember. I do believe that back in those days, the Spencers, I don't remember if they were involved in the slave trade. It was kind of hard to be wealthy and British and not be a part of it, but I can't recall. If it is a house for sale, I believe it would be that Tudor house. Okay, but let's move on. Take a look here. I love this guy. Meghan Markle writes, commends, shouldn't that be comment? Well, Ansun Monarchs has writes, commends. Oh, yeah, that's right. Commends is right. Hospitality during Nigeria visit. But yeah, I love this guy. He is just so cool. He is so cool. He is just the flyest king you ever seen with those, I'm assuming, Prada loafers. He's wearing his coral beads, or as I like to say, vibranium. And I love this photo right here. I believe that there's a parade, and maybe he's the honor, the what is it, the marshal or the honor of the parade or whatever. But yeah, I am loving this guy. I think he's so cool. So if you recall from yesterday, I shared that letter that Meghan wrote. And even though the top of the letter, I'm just saying, even though the top of the letter, it said that it was a personal letter, somehow everybody's seen it now. And she referred to him as Your Imperial Majesty. Thank you for your warm welcome to Nigeria. I am deeply humbled by your blessing of the traditional Yoruba name, Ada Tokundo, that name. I treasure the name and appreciate your trust in me to carry it with grace and dignity. Our visit to Nigeria was important for many reasons, but not least because it gave us an opportunity to explore and understand my heritage, which extends to our children. We look forward to coming back home one day soon. May, the Duchess of Sussex. There you go. Beautiful. Your Imperial Highness. I love that. So respectful, you know. And of course, that is the group of kings minus one. There was actually four kings. Now, let's get on to this. Some people are mad because you're not suffering the way they expected you to. Huh? You're not suffering the way they expected you to. Of course they're not. Harry and Meghan are living their best life. Remember, the year is only half over, and Meghan promised that there were lots of things rolling out this year, including their in the works with Harry's documentary about the polo, Meghan's lifestyle show on Netflix, and um, Meet Me at the Lake. Okay, and a few other things that may have slipped my mind, but they have a lot of things in the works. So be patient, you guys. Only half the year has gone by, and there's going to be so much more. Uh, delicious. And then take a look here. Brendan O'Neill, barbaric and inhumane. This internet trolling of Kate betrays the moral rot in society that must be rooted out. Now, I read that article yesterday and shared my thoughts about it. Well, I didn't actually look up this journalist because actually I didn't think about it. But thanks to one of the squatties, take a look there on the right side. The narcissism of Meghan Markle. Are we meant to feel sorry for Meghan of Montecito? So back in August of 2022, he wrote this scathing article, an anti Sussex Meghan hate hatchet job. And then, of course, the same person writes a article berating all of humanity because people dare to call out the Cambridges, especially when they submit that Franken photo, that Frankenstein of a photo, very questionable videos as well as photos that center around the absence. Okay, I was gonna say disappearance, but the absence of the Princess of Wales. This guy is way out of line. He had every opportunity in that article to call out the trolls that have been after Meghan and Harry, but in particular, Meghan. As you know, Meghan always gets the worst of it. Meghan has been blamed for something that Harry wanted since he was a child, and that was to get out of that institution. Um, but of course, Meghan gets blamed for that. They consider her some type of sorcerer or something. Whatever the case may be, he seems to be a very intelligent person. The article was written, but the only problem I have with it is the fact that he didn't use his powers, as they were, to call out the trolls that have been after Meghan. That's been part of his hate campaign. But then I can see now he would have to call out himself to do that because, as I said, this type of journalism only feeds the trolls, and the trolls also feed the the haters. The what's the word am I looking for? The Royal Rota, the anti Meghan journalists, the anti Sussex journalists. The tabloid media has been fed over and over again by the trolls. I think there's a symbiotic relationship. They feed off of each other. They're codependent, and you really can't have one without the other. So until he does that, then I find him rather disingenuous. Okay. Well, let me see here. Okay. Yes, he's been getting roasted all day. He's a grifter piece of crap. Absolutely. He has been dragged from here to Harlem and back again. Yeah, they have been dragging him all day. And as evident by the fact that someone, and if you know anything about The Spectator, I believe it's a very conservative publication. And so for them to jump onto the hate train or the hate bandwagon is very natural for them. It doesn't really look like a stretch as far as I'm concerned. And so, right here, one of the squatties, actually the one who shared the Spectator, says these two articles written by the same man and published by different papers. Apparently, it's okay to call Meghan despicable names, but God forbid people should ask legitimate questions about Kate's doctored photos and videos. Remember, it's not about race, right? It's not about race. But as I said over and over again, it just seems like anytime it has to do with people of color, the rules change. When it's about black people, everything changes. Everything changes. And then another person commented on the revelation about the Spectator article. They said the royal family forgot that when they gave the go ahead to attack Meghan and Harry for anything and everything, a time would come when unwarranted abuse would be normalized and they would be on the receiving end. You get what you give or approve. I like that. And it's very true. Pretty much, this is the thing that the institution there, which includes the courtiers, the royal family, the courtiers, um, and even worse, the senior royals. You would think they would be above that, but they're not. The senior royals and their courtiers, as well as all of the people that they entertain from the tabloid media, they are the ones that have orchestrated this nightmarish thing with the tabloids, um, characters assassinations on Harry and Meghan. So when the world turned their gaze to Will and Kate and began to laugh at them and speculate about their character, then all of a sudden they went into panic. All of a sudden they panicked. Yeah, everybody's a psychologist now. Everybody can what do you call it? They can diagnose a person that they've never met for something that they probably didn't do. Yeah. And of course, if it's Meghan, then they're expert. So take a look here. Speaking of, it's not about race. Meghan Markle broke royal hair protocol yet again with her bun. Article by Emily Wang. And then over here, Kate Middleton's elegant bun is a departure from her signature beautiful style. First curtain bangs, and now a low bun. The Princess of Wales is beautifully updated. I'm sorry, has beautifully updated her look. Uh, See what I mean? Now, aside from one person being of African descent and the other is the English rose, how how do they justify that? And as we've seen from the last article that I shared, the last two, you can see the same person can come up with two different types of articles about another person, right? Or should I say about the same two people here actually. They have two different results for two different people from one journalist within a year. So there on the right, it says it's only a matter of time before we see Kate or even an AI Kate wearing similar attire to Meghan Markle during the Nigeria visit. Remember when royalists and derangers claimed Meghan's bun broke royal protocol just for Kate to copy the hairstyle years later with no scandal? Was it really years or was it the very next year? But either way, um, there was no scandal. Everybody praised her for being so inventive and creative. Yeah. So it is, of course, as I've said many times, when Kate does those things, I feel like she's being abusive toward Meghan. I really do. I see it as abusive. When you go out of your way to mimic and dress like someone that you refuse to even speak to, someone that you have had this contentious relationship with for a long time, um, I find it very disrespectful. I find it very disrespectful. It was like an ongoing joke in the Kensington Palace, this long distance harassment of Meghan using Kate as a prop. And the fact that she allowed herself to be, I guess, ported into that position shows a real lack of integrity. It's a real lack of integrity. Let me see. Okay, go on. So there's Gums there on the right side. If you don't know who Gums is, that is that person that runs the Royal News Network. Sad day as one of the royals' favorite brands, Vampire Wife, is set to close. Famously, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was wearing one of their dresses in her official painting portrait with Prince William. Their official painting portrait. Well, it's either a painting or it's a portrait. We all know, anyway, not too bright, is she? But she does have a degree in communication. And even though she seemed to try to conceal her real name from people, one of our intrepid squatties figured out exactly who she was and exactly what kind of background she has. And of course, she uses or chooses words that are carefully curated to have the greatest amount of impact. And of course, the use of dog whistles is one of her strong suits. She's very good at that. And so, this same article here saying that it's a sad day for Kate, could you imagine the nasty negative tone that she would have used to describe a company that Meghan frequently chose as, a dressmaker or whatever. If it was the other way around, I promise you she would find some kind of way to assign blame to Meghan. Is what she does. And she is relentless when it comes to that. It is very jarring. It is very, very jarring to even see that rat-like face of hers and those gums flapping about that stuff. But she's a very, very menacing person. Very. And of course, she has monetized this anti Meghan campaign. She has monetized it and has, oh, I mean, the channel has grown a lot. And I'm telling you guys, whenever I see a hate channel pop up on my feed, the first thing I do is go and look and see what videos are popular. And then I go and see what videos are the oldest videos. And if they did not start off a Sussex hating channel, you could always see how they evolved from talking about, let's say, pop culture. And then one day they hit that jackpot, Harry and Meghan. And so they would go from, let's say, 300 views to 3,000 views, 30,000 views, 300,000 views. And all of that happens within a very short time period. Yep, bingo. There's even this guy in Canada. I looked through his videos, and he has mortgaged his soul for the exact same reason. And that means that you sit there and you think of the most hateful, evil, maniacal things that you can say about somebody that you've never met, that hasn't done anything to you, and you just become an active part of this hate campaign. And that's exactly how they have conducted themselves, especially that one that wouldn't wash her legs. Remember that one with them nasty, crusty legs that remember that one? She was talking about bric-a-brac and what was it? She was talking about the resale shop and garage sales and dumpster diving. And then all of a sudden, one day, she caught on. She mentioned Meghan and built an entire like kingdom out of it. Yeah, she went from a poor man's Fred G. Sanford to, well, like gums, like gums. So very sad to see that. Very sad. Okay, let me see. Um, I had actually made a short about that one. Do you guys remember that one? I had made a short about that that involved rat face, but I can't find it right now. I don't remember what the title was. Oh, looks just like a rat. Ooh, I can't stand her. Anyway, let me get those gums off the screen. Okay. It just goes to show you how cruel Charles is, that he sides with his concubine to attack his own child, or his children, actually. So that is the. Oh, did I have that here? No, there it is. And I cannot even see that. But I'll just do the headline. Fashion retail and insolvency news. High-end vampire's wife fashion brand closes owing £1 million plus to suppliers. Well, unfortunately, one of the most famous people to wear their apparel just didn't seem to have enough, shall we say, popularity to save them. It is so opposite of the type of effect that our Duchess has when it comes to um, fashion, right? Whatever Meghan wears sells out. And for other people, not so much. Okay, I'm not going to be too petty. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to leave it there. But yeah, and as mentioned before, that is the official portrait, or as some ignorant people say, painting portrait. That is the official painting portrait that that's in the National Portrait Gallery, or should I say, the National Painting Portrait Gallery. And that painting portrait, which was painted by a portrait painter. Anyway, uh, let me stop. All right. But that's it. And so you would think that having one of your outfits seen by millions of people, or possibly millions of people that have gone to the National Portrait Gallery ever since they hung it on the wall, you would think that somehow people would be like, "Ooh, where can I get that?" But no, most people just went on about their business. So, did not help. And of course, on the Caribbean tour, she also wore one of their dresses down there. Mm-hmm. Um, didn't know it came in fuchsia, did you? Well, it does. The Vampire's Wife. Now, let's get on to this. Unbelievable at the Royal Variety. You guys, when I saw this, I was like, oh my God. Now, listen, let's get into this. Hey, what's up, Sussex Squad? Come on in here. Close the door behind you. Unbelievable. At the Royal Variety, both were very lovely and terrific at the meet and greet. Incidentally, when she shook hands with me, she pressed a tiny piece of folded paper in my palm. I looked at it later. It just had one word written inside: help, help. So, this is Darren Brown. I don't know that I've ever heard of him before, but this is Darren Brown. And he is, what is he, a psychologist, illusionist, psychologist? So I still don't know what that means. I've never seen any like videos or anything like that, never read about him or even heard of him before today. But apparently, when they went to that Royal Variety Show. Remember the one where they met up with Crown Princess Victoria from, what is it, Sweden or whatever, and her husband, Crown Prince, whatever his name. Well, the four of them, Willie and Kitty, the Crown Princess Vicky and her husband, they met at, oh, I want to say Buckingham Palace, right? And I don't know if it was that night or the next night, they went to this variety show. Now, on the occasion, Kate looked painfully thin, right? That dress, she was like swimming in that dress. I didn't think she looked very well, right? But this all happened in the very same month after the release of Endgame. And so this was part of their business as usual charm offensive, right? And Kate seems to be wearing a wig, right? Either that or a lot of extensions, one or the other. And she just did not look well. And so he posted this December the 14th, 2023, right? But for whatever reason, this article started trending today as if to say, wow, that tweet did not age very well, did it? And it really did not. Or depending on how you feel about it, it has aged extremely well. But as a psychologist, or whatever that entails, it seems as though he was able to see something that other people did not, or it was just a joke. Now it says hashtag Dame Edna. I don't know if this was really supposed to be a joke about Dame Edna or if it actually was something to do with Kate. But I mean, he posted Kate's photo and Kate is standing there. So I have to assume that it's about Kate, right? I have to assume that it's about Kate. Um, but no matter what you think or how you think about it, it seems to be um, like a premonition or a warning. Yeah, maybe warning is better. But this was after the whole thing with Endgame. So considering how that month was, and I'm going to take a look back at that, which is why I was speaking about the decline of the Windsors. I'm going to take a look back at that because there were certain things about the month of, what do you call it? The month of December that I had kind of forgotten about. So we'll take a look at that. But yeah, there was a few things about December that I forgot about because so much has happened in the last 6 months. So let me take a look at this. Darren Brown. Okay, it says here that Darren Brown is Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull, dislikes mushrooms. Whatever that means. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what Grayskull is. That was from the series He-Man. Let me see. Darren Brown, stage and screen, art, books, news, contacts. Darren Brown, showman, now streaming on Channel 4. It says here, Darren Brown, boot camp for emotions. So I guess he is a psychologist. Oh, he's done a TED Talk. Mentalist and mind reading, the art of getting inside your head. Well, you see what I'm saying? If he says he got a vibe, then if he's any good, then I suppose he did. But yeah, when I first saw the tweet, it was a screenshot. I didn't realize that it was from December 14th. So, Legs, let me see what you have to say here. Legs says Kate looks like she is weary to touch that hand, or she is wondering where that hand has been. Isn't this the revenge racist dress she took from Meghan? Well, at the time, there was supposed to be a revenge dress, but it was the one she wore to that wedding. Oh gosh, that kind of pink, was it pink or whatever? I remember at the time, as a matter of fact, I did save that article, a screenshot of the article where one of the royal rota were trying to say that that was a revenge dress and it was supposed to be some way of her getting back at Meghan. But no, this is just another one of her kind of channeling look-alike dresses. But I don't think this was the one that was supposed to be for revenge. I don't think so. But at the time, I do recall that people were saying that, oh, there she is, copycat. So December was not a good month. Oh, by the way, thank you for that, Lex. December was not a good month for them. Hmm. Darren Brown. I'm gonna have to watch one of his videos or something. It looks like May 24th was the last time he had a public appearance, keynoting the hell out of DTX 360 in Manchester, the big expo on tech, talking about happiness, stoicism, meaning AI, also my lanyard, which is now how I always introduce myself at social gatherings. Okay, Britain's leading psychological illusionist. What the heck is that? Oh well. So that was his take on it. So this is something that a lot of people were noticing today, and well, what do you all think about it? Kate doesn't look happy in the picture. Right? So okay, and what else? The dress looks different with lighting. I believe him. That was the night they were heckled. Yes, yes, I do have that video. Actually, I do have that video from the Royal Variety. Um, and it's I made a short out of it, and it's actually one of my most viewed videos. And people were a lot of royalists were very upset about that, but people were yelling questions to them, which is very rare when the royals have an outing that people confront them like that. So I do remember that that caused a spot of bother or a bit of controversy. Well, let me see if I have that one. Hmm. Okay, that's sway sway. That's not it. Oh man, I do not see it. I do not see it. Yeah, but I had it though. I definitely had it. Let me see if I search for it like this. That seems to be going in the right direction. Nope, did not work. Yeah, sorry. Oh, wait. Is that it? Yes, I got it. I got it. Let me see here. Give me a second. I will share with you. Okay. Ready? Here it comes. Royal Highness, have you got a comment about Ernest Scobie's book? Always be blessed. Did you want us? Did you want to see us Morgan show last night, Your Royal Highnesses? Royal Highness, have you got a comment about Ernest Scobie's book? Always be blessed. Did you want us? Did you want to see us Morgan show last night, Your Royal Highnesses? Okay, so there you see. That was what happened. They asked him about Omid Scobie's book. You guys, Endgame seems so long ago. I almost lost track of it. It was their last formal engagement. That is true. Absolutely. I believe the next time we saw the two of them was for Christmas. It may have been I think they had gone out to a couple of outings, like I know Kate went to a grade school. I don't remember the exact timetable, but this is December and these are the last times that Kate had been seen publicly. Now, also, um, I want to mention this. Embarrassing moment goes viral when Kate meets Victoria. Notice nothing, looking around awkwardly, standing in line. She did not seem to be altogether there. And then there was that very awkward thing where they were waiting to go into the variety, and Will and Kate were talking to some people, and they kind of, you know, snubbed Crown Princess Victoria. And it did not go over well back home. It did not go over well back home. Um, in Sweden, people were very, very upset about that. They felt as though William and Kate were incredibly disrespectful to their crown prince and princess. Oh, I'm sorry, princess and prince, because she'll be the sovereign, not him. Let's see. An engagement when they were balcony and Kate was staring at. Oh yes, yes. This was that night. I believe this was that night. I do believe this was the very same night. Oh, but I tell you what. Let me see what else I can find. Let me see what else I can find from December. Hmm. Sort by date. And I want December 2023. Okay. Okay. I know I have that one for. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, so take a look at this one. So that was very strange. And especially both of them should have known better than that. But it was viewed as being very rude in Sweden. That was all the papers were talking about the next day, is how embarrassing it was and how rude it was. But there was something else going on, because take a look there on the right side. Take a look on the right side. And that image right there is the one that I couldn't get out of my mind in December. And of course, all of this year, considering how she was on one of the last engagements, I'm like, something was terribly wrong. Now, of course, the 28th of December, that's when that motorcade went racing toward the hospital. Okay, the balcony video when they went to see IG. Oh, yes, and they mentioned Harry. Yes, TB, you're absolutely right. That was that one where they mentioned Harry. Harry wasn't there, of course, but they had those dancers from the Invictus Games. Remember the dance troupe, you all, where some of them were in wheelchairs, and they had this choreographed thing that they had done at the Invictus opening or closing. And so that same group was invited to whatever that event was. You're absolutely right. Thank you so much for reminding. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Um, that is ominous. Thank you for sharing that. Let me see. I love the guy kept coughing. They were making sure they were getting those. Yeah, I felt bad for that little guy because he kept running back and forth and, trying to um, expedite the matter. But yeah, they were stuck. They were stuck. So then there's this one where you can see she seems preoccupied. She seems very preoccupied. The guy is talking to her, and she seems to, I don't know, maybe she thought she saw somebody she knew or whatever. But it was an off night for her. It was a very off night. I will say that when it comes to these types of engagements, uh, I don't know that she makes very many mistakes. This is her, what she does well is a bunch of small talk in these rooms like this, and yet she seemed to be totally preoccupied. Now, keep calm and carry on. So remember, this is after the release of Endgame. And so she's wearing this dress. She has this whole new look with the Kate Jackson hair. Remember Kate Jackson from Charlie's Angels? Oh, no, I'm sorry, Jacqueline Smith. She has the Jacqueline Smith hair. And very, very glamorous look, right? But the dress seems too big. It seems too big. It's almost like the dress was wearing her. Meanwhile, her parents in December, I believe that's when they were saying that the party pieces owed money, right? That they were broke and that they could not pay their debts or something to that matter, and that they were supposed to make sure that their the people that they were in debt would actually get paid back the money or whatever it was. But yeah, so that was an embarrassing time. And oh my God, her poor mother, she looks terrible. She looks terrible. But this is something I wanted to remind you about. King Charles dealt a major blow as support for monarchy plummets in new poll. King Charles may be suffering another major blow this week following new figures that show support for the monarchy has plummeted. As a matter of fact, it was an all-time low, right? That came out November 29th. It was an all-time low. But on the other hand, December 13th, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle surged in popularity. Yeah, they had a surge in popularity, and that came from the very negative, biased Newsweek. I tried to find that one. I could not find it. And it should have been for that period, but I could not find it. I'll try one more time and see if I can find it here. Give me a second. Let me see. December 2023. Okay. Look very sharp. Look very sharp. Oh, I did find something that I was looking for. Tell you what, I'm going to put that down
Also, she
here,
needs.
and we'll look at that in a moment. But let me try one more time for that one. I was looking for that one. December 2023. Okay. Oh, that one too. That was a fun one. You guys, December was a very, very eye-opening period. Yeah, let me see. I'm not seeing it here. And it seems like it should be there, but I'm not seeing it. It's like I see everything but that one. Yeah, sorry. It is not visible to me. But I tell you what I did find. I'll tell you what I did find. How about this one? One of my favorites.
Not me with this, carry on. I tell you what it is that make me physically sick. Do you know that? You've got nurses on their backside. You've got everybody else on their backside with strikes and things like that. It's time to get rid of them because they're outdated, mate. You know, the term, people criticise people on benefits and call them scoundrels. Mm-hmm. The royal family have never worked in their lives, and they're all sponges.
Well,
they're all sponges off the taxpayer pet.
I know a lot of people hold that view, and I haven't watched the BBC documentary. Princess Anne, is she the Princess Royal? But how hard she works in terms of public appearances and the people.
That's not work, pet. Okay. That's not work, and bringing your fingers to the bones in factories, standing for 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day to make ends meet, man. Mm. Patch yourself on. They don't even have to wipe their own backsides.
I love him. I am going to build a shrine to him later. I promise you. I love that guy. That's not work, Pat. They don't even have to clean their own backsides. That's not work. He was not having it. Okay, he was not having it. That is not work. You heard what I said. That is not work. Oh my goodness. And she was trying not to laugh. That was what I also loved, is the fact that she was trying to not laugh, but she could barely contain herself. Oh man. I hadn't seen that one in quite some time. That's not work, Pat. I never heard that nickname before, pet. I mean, I've heard people say my pet, but I've never heard someone other than, a very close person to, you know what I'm saying? That was a bit unusual. So let me see here. Oh man. Oh well, I tried to find it. If I could find it later, I will share it with you. But for now, I think it's a no go for that one. Oh boy. And yet, you know how I am. I never like to give up. Hmm. Oh man. All right. All right. I give. I give. I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay, give me just a second. I got it. I got it. I got it. So this is the one where she was cutting that eye at him. That's not work, Pat. Okay. So that was the one. And let me tell you something, the Derangers were mad at me. Okay, so right here, Meghan and Harry Hollywood comeback. After a rough year of public backlash, the royal couple are on the rebound. Inside their future plans and why they're moving on from family squabble. And of course, I forget, I don't remember when it was, but this is not about trying to collapse the monarchy. This is about trying to save them from themselves. So remember, Harry gave that interview um, to Brianni Gordon, right? Also in December, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle popularity soars to highest level yet in bombshell poll. Oh God, they love to use bombshell. Now again, that was December 13th. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are hitting great heights of popularity in the US just days after the publication of Omid Scobie's Endgame. So, what am I trying to say here? Notice the correlation between Endgame popularity and the decline of the Windsor's popularity all at the same time. Like right there, Omid Scobie refused to apologize to the royal family after naming, allegedly naming King Charles and Kate in Endgame. So if you remember, it was King Charles and Kate, the same two people who would announce that they both are having surgery and that they both do not have cancer and that they both do have cancer and so on and so on. So remember, it the connection between those two seemed to start in December with Endgame. And then right there, BBC News to start search for first royal editor amid soaring audience interest in monarchy. So for whatever reason, I guess they didn't have a royal editor before, as they tried to pretend like they were not, you know, connected to the institution in some way. But that was something that happened because whether or not Omid Scobie's book um, was damaging to the brand when it comes to the royal family, one thing for sure is that it brought a lot of new interest to the institution. That scandal also brought a lot of interest to the institution. So even though they may not like what was in the book, it does help to solidify their popularity. Doesn't mean people like them popularity, but just that people were paying attention to them. And then over there, British public support for monarchy at historic low. Now, that was back in April of 2023. If you recall, that was when they were underwater when it came to their popularity. They were saying that the monarchy had never been at such a low. So 2023 was a rough year for them, but the Sussexes, their fortunes were rising. Now, take a look here. After this book Endgame, Palace Crisis Talks, a royally white Christmas. And that was very awkward, you guys. So, after being accused of being racist, why in the world would you tell everybody to wear white? Right? Like Kate's white power suit? That seemed rather, you know, tacky. That seemed kind of tacky. And then for the Daily Mail to say a royally white Christmas, uh, dog whistle? I don't know. And of course, because they were in such a panic, don't forget that Uncle Ben, well, actually, Ken, the guy down, Ken, what is his name? Elisa, whatever his name is. That's the guy at the bottom that looks like Uncle Ben from the Uncle Ben's Rice. Well, anyway, Uncle Ben or Uncle Ken, he of course came out and said that the royal family is not racist, which is the same thing he did when the Queen asked about Black Lives Matter. He said the royal family can't be racist because the Queen asked about Black Lives Matter. Well, in passing, the Queen was like, well, what is it about? So he took her interest in what is Black Lives Matter to mean that the royal family couldn't be racist. So he, along with a few other people, a few other black people, they're the ones that always have to come out anytime someone says the royal family is racist. And then also, remember at Christmas, see the big American flag? Remember, they found those two black ladies that say that they follow the royal family every place they go. And just so happens they were at Sandringham for Christmas. That seems so contrived and orchestrated. And of course, they wound up on the pages of all kind of magazines and newspapers, holding their American flag, declaring their love for the Windsor family. These two black American women declaring their love for the Windsors. Right, right. The check is in the mail, allegedly. Yeah, they're always going to be more popular. Always. Okay. And take a look here. United we stand. Where is that at? Okay, Royal Charm Offensive. And then there. Oh, that's the revenge dress. Like, see the pink one there? That's supposed to be the revenge dress. It says the ultimate revenge dress for diplomats last night, like Diana. And this is what's so twisted. Liz Jones tried to conflate some type of connection between Diana wearing that black dress and Kate wearing that Pepto Bismol dress that was supposed to be revenge. I'm not making the connection. As if that dress was so exciting that she just put Meghan in her place. Huh? How? How? I ask you, how? And not to mention the fact that she wore the dress before. The ultimate revenge dress. Now, let me just say that did not gain any traction. Nobody saw it that way except for Liz Jones. And it was such a stretch, nobody dare repeat it. It was stupid. It was really stupid. Oh, what happened, Rafaela? Thanks, Elaine. Okay, uh, what did I miss here? Uh, Bye and thanks, my dear friends. I go in the hospital. See you later. As always. Oh, um, well, Rafaela, please let us know. Give us an update as to what's happening. I'm not sure I know what this means, but well, thanks for sharing with us anyway. Now, Rafaela, you're in Italy, right? Are you in Italy? Because I have been looking at the flooding on television and I'm like, oh my God. There's, I know that everybody knows Venice floods, but I had never seen such a flood in like all of Tuscany, Milano, or Milan. Where else? Florence. All of those places are being flooded. Oh, I was just sick when I saw that. All of those beautiful places, all of the art treasure and stuff. I hate when I see stuff like that. Yeah, that was the same dress she wore to the wedding. Yeah, that was the same one she wore when William was like, "Come on." That is the same. And Liz Jones um tried to call it a revenge dress. I don't get it. But anyway, you guys, I'm sharing these with you to show you the state of things from last December. So I could imagine that Kate, for the first time in a long time, the fact that she was getting negative press, maybe that, and it wasn't so much negative press, let's face it. It wasn't so much negative press as it was social media. Social media did a job on that family. They did a job on them. But they were telling the truth, though. They were telling the truth. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for that. All right. Well, we'll definitely have to keep him in our prayers. Yes, Pepto-Bismol is the only thing that coats, soothes, and heals. So right there, palace officials reportedly offered up stories on other royals to squash Prince William's affair rumors, right? That is something that has been said for a long time. Omid Scobie said so in his book, and it seems to be very consistent with the way things operate. If there were no truth to that, right? If there were no truth to that, why is it that not only has so many people in the shall we say the tabloid media said the same thing, but even the very Cambridge friendly reporters like Richard Eden, right? And how about Dan Wooten, Richard Eden, Dan Wooten, and a couple of other people? They were all like, I'll be glad when we can talk about this freely. I'll be glad when we can, you know what I'm saying? So they have been, and also when Stephen Colbert made a joke about the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, that is when things really hit the fan, because that is when Kate sat on the bench and told us what she told us, right? That was the very height of the anti royal family, um, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, people were laughing at the royal family, and they had to put a stop to it. They had to put a stop to it. Let me see. I remember that the story of Harry being in rehab. Yep, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she was the butt of the joke before Meghan came along. And then after Meghan, they decided to give her all of these free passes, but social media had other ideas. Okay. Okay, thank you, Maurice Brown. Okay. All right, let me get on with it. Promised that it would. Okay, so I'm not racist. I've got a mixed race sister-in-law. So that's the little punchline that I was telling you guys earlier. I'm not racist. I got a mixed race sister-in-law. Yeah, so there's no way he could possibly be racist. And of course, it seems like there is a soft rollout, a very soft introduction to, I guess, for William, things that are yet to come. I don't know. But this seems to be exactly why we're in a very weird place, because it wasn't until Stephen Colbert was making jokes about this. They didn't care about the "Where is Kate" jokes, but I'm telling you guys, when this became the butt of the joke, that's when all of a sudden Kate was on the bench. It was because of that. So there must be something to it. There must be something to it. We're all so busy looking at who's got cancer and who's not around. But this seems to be the very center of everything. When you get to the center of it, this seems to be the real story. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not ready to say for certain, but this seems to be the story. Yeah. Fits right in there, don't she? like a hand to the glove, fits right in there. Yeah, they knew Stephen Colbert was telling the truth, Adrian. They knew it. Yeah, with everything that was happening, they didn't seem to freak out until it was that was at the center of the conversation. Now, speaking of monsters, actually, I didn't, but close enough. Do you know this old fart got married again today? Yes, he did. It did. Wedding bells. Rupert Murdoch marries beautiful bride Alina Zakova in warm sunshine at his California vineyard. That's right. What is he, 92? He got married again. And of course, the last time that he was engaged, there was a very dark figure wearing a cloak that says, "Do you know where I can find the Murdoch Smith wedding?" Do you guys remember that? It was all over the news. But they said that some figure in a very dark cloak was trying to find the wedding for the Murdoch Smith family. Connie Palmer! Hey, Connie Palmer. But anyway, I guess he couldn't find him, huh? So right there, Rupert Murdoch, 92, engaged to Leslie Ann Smith following fourth divorce. So he was just engaged to this lady. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe that person found half of what he was looking for. But yeah, in spite of the fact that she saw him in a bathing suit, she was all ready to tie the knot. Well, I guess you can't help who you fall in love with or how much money they have. But as we know, Rupert Murdoch has fueled polarization of society, as Barack Obama reports here. Barack Obama said that Rupert Murdoch has fueled the polarization of society. Biden finds Murdoch the most dangerous man in the world. I mean, when an American president is not safe from somebody like Murdoch, what does that tell you about the way things are? And of course, he is, or should I say, William is forever in his debt. He did pay out $1 million to William so that William would not pursue any of the phone hacking stuff. What's the deal between Prince William and Rupert Murdoch? Now, there was a great video, a podcast about that. The guy right there, Paul, whatever his name is, he, I don't know if you guys remember him, but he did a great thing about the Murdoch connection to WikiLeaks. And then there on the right side, the editor of the Washington Post, not to be confused with the New York Post, which is owned by Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos of Amazon. Well, he hired that guy as the editor, but his name was brought up in the last court hearing or whatever for the phone hacking. So who knows how long he's going to be there. And of course, there's Rupert Murdoch, hog-haired Pierce Morgan, and of course, Jeremy Clarkson, who wrote that despicable article around Christmas about Meghan. Now, remember, Hoghead and Clarkson both went to that Christmas party at some restaurant at the invitation of Camilla, right? And it was after that that Jeremy Clarkson wrote that article. So around Christmas time, there was a lot of strategizing to take the Sussexes down. And that was due in part to the release of Endgame. December was panic time for the royal family. They panicked. Murdoch shuts down Talk TV channel as losses mount. Yeah, so Pierce Morgan, like so many others, have gone over to YouTube. All of Talk TV is now on YouTube. And of course, someone made a depiction of Murdoch's brand of journalism using, well, a very bloody typewriter. Is that a straight razor? Yes, it is. Yeah, that describes Murdoch's journalism. Once, let me see. I was once asked Rupert Murdoch. I'm sorry. I once asked Rupert Murdoch why he was so opposed to the European Union. That's easy, he replied. When I go into Downing Street, they do what I say. When I go to Brussels, they take no notice. Now, to be fair, he claims that he never said that. He said, I have never asked for anything from any prime minister. Rupert Murdoch's letter. He says that he's not that person. So it just depends on who you want to believe. Now, strangely enough, that same figure in the cloak was out in California today near the vineyard. And of course, he says, do you know where I can find the Murdoch Zakova wedding? Isn't that something? I don't know who that guy is, but it seems like every time Rupert Murdoch, tries to get married, all of a sudden, some strange guy arrives in town and and just like that, he vanishes and they've never seen him again. So don't know what that means. Very strange though, isn't it? Force of habit. That's our Harry. I love those photos. And of course, honoring the legacy of Marion Robinson. Don't forget the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, lost her mother. What was it? On the 31st. So I don't know what the arrangements are, but that should be very interesting. So again, our hearts go out to the Robinson family and the Obama family and so on. And lastly, check it out. This is a young Prince Harry. Found that on the interweb today. The young Prince Harry. And I think that is, one more. There you go. This one looks like AI Harry. Yeah, I think that's AI. Anyway, sorry it took more time than I expected, but I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what the next incarnation of Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton. I cannot wait to see what the next Kate Middleton appearance is going to be. Connie Balmer, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you as always for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, yes, it is Ginger Avenger time. Okay, now you guys, I know I've made this promise before, but I am going to do my best to come on earlier tomorrow. So, Elaine, Connie, it's been fun, but if I can just get on in the afternoon, then you both will be here, I'm sure. But I'm going to do my best. But it's been a busy couple weeks for me. So we'll see how it goes. But thank you all so much for your patience. And thank you for following the Royal Sussex wherever it goes. And also for those of you that stream later on, I really do appreciate it. Like people in Africa and people in Europe that are starting their day with Royal Sussex, or the people here in the Western Hemisphere that are ending your day with Royal Sussex. Either way, it is greatly appreciated. So, Yes. Guess that was it. Don't know when we're going to see Harry and Meghan again, but I got a feeling we'll see them this week. If not, I hope that they are getting everything done and sorted that they need for the next 6 months. Because remember, it is 2024, and this is supposed to be, and it has been a very busy year for all things Sussex. So can't wait for that. What else is coming up? Troop in the Color is on the 15th, I believe. They had rehearsal today. They said that it's not likely that Kate Middleton will be there. They said if she feels able, she will come out on the balcony. If not, well, guess we'll see her next year. Okay. Good night, Elaine Parker. Good morning. Good night to you all. Going to bed. Sweet dreams. Good night, Connie Balmer. Or good morning. It's morning for you, right? Okay. Oh, you know what? I said I was going to share that other video. Here we go.
Be a lady and get out of the car, just saying. So I'll be doing a longer.
Who that girl? Y'all go watch that video, come back. I got some things to say, okay? It's always the crusty bugs that's got something to say about somebody else sitting there. The way they look, the way they get out of the car, what kind of dress they're wearing, what her makeup is, the smile on her face, her man holding the umbrella for her. Something's always wrong because that girl, instead of brushing her hair for the past month, has been fixated on Harry and Meghan. But here's the deal. She created a whole TikTok to talk about how awful Meghan and Harry are. But guess what, honey? If Meghan and Harry didn't exist, you wouldn't even have a platform because you aren't a creator, you're a repeater. You take a narrative that's extremely popular, you put it on here, you hope it gets in an algorithm where you get a lot of likes and follows from some hateful, racist, misogynistic, sexist people, because that's the category that you fall into. You know what that is? Level 0, raggedy. It's the lowest form of creating because you're not creating at all.
All right. He said what he said. So that'll be our last word for the day. Y'all know he was talking about gums.
Also, she needs to learn how to be a lady and get out.
Look at there. Look at those gums. Gums, gums, gums. Gums, gums. Yes, he was talking about gums. All right. All right, that'll be our last word. And as always, whenever you see our queens, it's time to go. And y'all know what that means. Cue the Ginger Avenger. See you all tomorrow. Love you guys as always. Cheers. God save the content creators. You know what gets me though? She has the nerves to talk about how Meghan gets out of the car, as if we all didn't see the way Kate got out of the car in front of, what was it, the Korean ambassador or whatever. Remember when she got out the car and all you saw was legs, and she was praised for that. I wonder what she had to say about the way Kate got out the car. Huh? What was that ladylike? Was that ladylike? See what I mean? Now, of course, she's a big fan of Kate, and she took a photo with Kate. So, of course, she's not going to say anything about the way that Kate got out the car. But instead, she's talking about how Meghan gets out of the car. Same flavor. Same flavor. I didn't think it was ladylike. I thought it was like somebody auditioning for the Radio City Music Hall. I say, look, somebody's auditioning for the Rockettes. Because I had never seen anybody exit a car that have kicked their legs higher than what Kate did that day, right? But instead, she decides that she wants to critique Meghan exiting the car. I mean, take a look at this. This was very disrespectful as far as I'm concerned. Very disrespectful. Also, she needs to just learn how to get out of the car. I'm just saying, right? Well, how is that to get out the car? How is that? What does that look like? Not very ladylike to me.
Also, she needs to learn how to be a lady and get out of the car. Just saying.
See what I mean? That's what she said. Also, she just needs to learn how to get out of the car like a lady. Just saying. What is that supposed to be right there? Doesn't seem very ladylike to me. And what happened? She was praised for it. They praised her for stepping out the car with her dress all the way up to her waist. They praised her for that. Exactly, mainly. Always showing. It's almost like it's not her if you can't see her unmentionables. Yep. Double standard. Double standard. Okay. Good night, all.